Hello, and welcome to Japanese craft beer reviews. Today's beer is rather unusual. It's a fairly new one put out by Suntory, and it has a lot of characteristics about it that are very different from anything that Suntory has ever made. The beer is this one. It is called Suntory Beerball, or beer ball, and this is a beer that is designed to be made into a highball, and it comes in a bottle that is 344 milliliters, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the history of the highball after this, but this comes in this kind of pull top cap here, and it also comes with an attached cap on the top of the bottle, and the cap is to put back on to the bottle afterwards. And the reason is that this beer is 16% alcohol, and it's designed to be mixed with ice and water, sparkling water, and so most people may not finish it in a single setting, and they provide a cap for you to put onto the beer, and so you can save it for another night, maybe the next night. Okay, and we will do that. I will not drink this entire bottle here tonight. But first, let me give you a little history of the highball. Is kind of it's a vaguely defined drink. It's basically some kind of a drink with booze and something carbonated, maybe soda water, tonic water, something like that. And people say, well, it's gin and tonic. Highball. Well, I might be able to consider it that. But technically the highball, as we're talking about it, involves whiskey. And the use of sparkling water in beverages goes way back. There's records from London in the 1650s of wine being mixed with naturally sparkling water. And, so that's quite a ways back. And then of course Scotch and soda. The Scotch whiskey gained prominence during the Napoleonic Wars when brandy was no longer available from France, and so people really started getting into Scotch whiskey at that time. In 1895, however, a man published a book called The Mixologist. His name was Lawler, and in this he described the drink as ice, water, whiskey, and sparkling water. I'm sorry, not water, but sparkling water, and called it a highball. The book's called The Mixologist, and he claims that that was the origin of the highball. But in 1927, another man who claims that he invented it at Adams House in Boston, the Adams House restaurant and bar. Who knows? However, in the 1950s, 60s, and 70s, of course, Japanese companies got into whiskey, Suntory most especially, and started producing very high quality whiskey. And the whiskey highball, was the drink of choice of Japanese salaryman, go out and do what they call settai, business drinking, at night after work, taking a client out or taking your colleagues out to, bond with each other and that sort of thing. And even today it's still quite popular. So in the 60s and 70s, very, very popular, kind of fell out of favor, and now in the 2000s it is popular again. And in fact, there are several varieties of what's called RTD, ready-to-drink cans that you can get with whiskey and water in it. Generally 7 to 10% maybe alcohol by volume. It's also, of course, quite featured in swanky bars as well. A lot of people have different recipes. I mean, they talk about things like sweating the ice so it doesn't have sharp edges, which will somehow affect the flavor of the whiskey. So it's still popular, and what we have here today is called Beerball, Beerball, and I'm not sure why usually this is written in a different form. This is Bia, and which is a little bit different from Biru. which is the standard term for beer in Japanese. Okay, so the beer ball that we have here is 16% alcohol by volume, very, very highly concentrated, and the website talks about it. Some people were saying, is this actually even beer? And well, I think it is. It's classified as would be classified as a strong ale, perhaps an American strong ale. And on the website, they definitely talk about how much difficulty they had getting the fermentation to produce 16% alcohol. So it is considered to be an American strong ale. And this is designed to be drunk with sparkling water, mixed in a ratio of 3 to 1. So that's what we will do here. This is a 334 milliliter bottle, which sells for 698 yen, and that would be approximately, I'm going to say $5.50 maybe, something like that in the US. They also have a 500 milliliter bottle, which is larger, that costs 862 yen, or perhaps $7 or so. And as I said, it does have a cap that we're going to put on the top after we finish here. This was released in October last year, 2022, and then it was released a little bit later. It was released first of all in the Kanto region, the northern region, Tokyo region of Japan, and then later in other areas of Japan. Okay, so again, it's not distilled, it's not fortified, it's malton hops, and it does reach 16% alcohol. And it also seems to be exported. I was surprised to see on Untappd there were some ratings from other countries, so kind of surprising. Rate beer, there was only one rating, and it was a lowly 1.7 out of 5, so not very high. Untappd had 96 ratings when I checked, and that was, the rating there was a lot higher, 2.81, so almost to the 3 level, which is the decent level for beer. Okay, all right, and so we give this a go. I'm going to attempt to pour it into a measure and try to get the 3 to 1. Oops. Here we go. So pour out 300 here. I don't have the right sort of bar equipment because I'm not a spirits drinker at all. Okay. Well, it looks like we're not going to get quite to that level. And okay, let me stop here for a second. So approximately 300 milliliters into the glass, and I'm pouring this beer in now. Okay. All right. So you see what we have. Definitely I can smell it right away as a malty sort of beverage. Interesting. But it's so cold that the aroma doesn't really come up. I do get some hint of maltiness, maybe a kind of light breadiness, some maybe overripe fruit. Okay, it tastes kind of like beer, kind of not. Does have maltiness. You taste it kind of the sort of crisp, sort of light fruitiness, kind of rich. But again, it's so cold that the flavors can't really develop. Very little hoppiness here. The hops do kind of hit the middle of the tongue and sort of flow back, but there's nothing like bitter tracks or anything at all. the alcohol level does seem a little bit elevated, slightly warming, interesting. I suppose I should mix it better. I don't even have a mixing stick, so you can see I'm not a spirits drinker at all. Okay, this is unusual. I'm going to say that this is interesting as a novelty, but not as a beer. Okay, might give it just a little sip here. It does taste like a strong ale, not a very pleasant one. Kind of minty. It does taste a little artificial, though, although they claim it was not. So, kind of unusual. I don't know if I would recommend this or not. If you like something unusual in your life, give it a go. Otherwise, stay clear of it. You can find this in many stores now, liquor stores especially, maybe large supermarkets as well. Again, it's called Suntory Beerball. Suntory Beerball. 16% alcohol, designed to be mixed with ice and some kind of sparkling water. Okay, and yeah, so give it a try and tell me what you think. So far, it doesn't seem to be so popular among beer drinkers. One review on Rate Beer and one 96 on Untapped. So yeah, but you try it and you tell me what you think. Okay, that's it for today. Please take care. Bye bye.